Okay folks, so this is a foot massager. I purchased this mainly for my wife, but I have been using it as well. And so this isn't a sponsored video, but we have been giving it a good run for its money over the last week or so, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you. So right off, I'm going to tell you that this is the first foot massager that either my wife or myself have ever used. As such, I don't have a lot of experience to compare this to other models on the market. Based on the price, I wouldn't say this is a premium model, and perhaps if you are going to be spending a little bit more, then you might be able to expect a little bit more in return than what this offers. So we have these cushion spaces here, which is obviously where your feet go, and they are very comfortable. I would say that my foot size is US 11 and it is very tight in here, so if you have a larger foot size than me, then this might not be the most suitable product. First of all, there is a heat setting, and you can simply have this on or off regardless of what other functions you are using here. One thing about the heat setting, it doesn't warm up particularly quickly. The instructions state it would take about 3 to 5 minutes. In our experience, you can have this on for about 10 minutes before you really start to notice the warmth. But there are also two main functions, and that is the kneading function, and that's really where the main massage comes into play. And there is also a pressure function, and that is where there are pads that are blown up with air around your feet just to, as the name suggests, give you that little bit of pressure. And you can use these independent of one another, the kneading and the pressure, or you can have them both together. Now the kneading, here's the thing, when I first tried this out, it was a really pleasant experience. However, it does tend to make our feet just a little bit sore, if I'm honest with you. And as I say, that applies to both of us, so I'd imagine that it may for some of you as well. And that leads me to one of the main problems here. The beads, or whatever the mechanism that is used here for that kneading massage, they don't reset when that function isn't enabled. So when you go from, kneading or kneading and pressure to just pressure, then you can still feel the balls or whatever it is that's under the soles of your feet that would do the kneading. They are still protruding in place even though they are not moving, and it can make for at times a little bit of an uncomfortable experience, which is a shame because just having this on pressure mode only actually does make a big difference with aching feet. Now you can use this with or without socks. For the purposes of the video, I'm only showing you us using it with socks. But the buttons on the front panel, well, they are quite self-explanatory. You have power on or off, you have heat on or off, you have the intensity of the pressure, and that can be low or high, and you have the mode, which switches between 3 modes. The first is the kneading and the pressure. The second mode is just the kneading, and the third mode is just the pressure. However, I would have liked to have seen a remote control included here, because especially if you have this under a desk, it can be a bit of a pain when you want to change settings, trying to fidget about in order to do that. Like I say, remote control, I feel, would have made things so much easier there. And the power cable, the power cord that comes with it, it's not particularly long, so if you are quite a ways from the plug socket where you are relaxing, you may need to use an extension. And also the lead itself is quite thin, which for a device that does produce heat is a little bit concerning. I've not had any issues, I'm not saying I will, but I would have liked to have seen a slightly more robust cable than this skinny thing here. Now, according to the seller, although I haven't seen this in action yet myself, there are some features here to prevent overheating. If this does get a little bit too hot, the unit will shut down and you will have to wait for it to cool down before you are able to turn it back on again. Now, we have used this for several hours at a time and that hasn't been a problem for us, but perhaps if you are using this in a warmer environment, then maybe that would be an issue. But in conclusion, for our first foot massager, we have both been pleasantly satisfied. It does provide a nice relaxing experience, and despite those niggles, we do use it quite regularly. So thank you for watching, and I hope the video helped.